there was one that caught my eye today, and it's around the whole situation with Patson Daka. So there are varying trains of thought on this one. Some people believe he's Liverpool bound, that it's done and dusted. Other people, West Ham fans, think there's a good chance he could end up at the London Stadium. And then, of course, we have the news that he could end up with following Jesse Marsch to Salzburg. Now, I know you've got your ear close to the ground. I know that you like to follow transfers like myself. What's your take on all of this with Daka?
I love Patson Daka. I think it would be a good signing. I've been saying for most of the season, really, that I think we'll end up getting Patson Daka. And it's not one that, stands out as an outstanding signing and on paper looks amazing. But it's a typical Liverpool smart buy. I see it as a cheap option for a striker who's been doing very well in Austria. And people say, obviously for every Haaland, you get a Minamino and stuff like that. But Patson Daka, to me, does look like the real deal. And of course, I'm not comparing him to Haaland. I'm not saying he's going to be anything like that. But I still think when he moves to, a top European league, he's still going to do quite well. And he'll have time to embed himself in as a Liverpool player. He won't be coming in as a starter straight away. He'll get minutes here and there from the bench. But what worried me the other day was seeing him retweet something about Chelsea, saying that he was close to joining Chelsea. So, since that, I've sort of taken a step back on my feelings on Patson Daka.
That is strange, yeah, especially when it seems like Chelsea are going all in on the Haaland boat,
Yeah.
So we're just going to give one chew. Is it just one chew for Patson Daka and the choo-choo train? We're just giving them one chew.
It's half a chew, to be honest. It was one chew before, but I think that retweet's made me go to half a chew. So let's just call it a chew.
Yeah, we'll go with that. My initials as well, actually, which works out rather nicely. One thing that caught Connor's eye today, and he sent it to me, was talk about a possible, I don't want to say swap deal, but maybe using Harry Wilson as a bit of bait to try and lure Leeds into selling us RAPHINA. Now, I've got to say, I'm not a Scooby-Doo about this one. I've got to be honest with you. We know before Leeds were linked with Harry Wilson, but I think Bielsa said that he wasn't the right fit at the time, if my memory's correct. And I would have guessed that they'd moved on. But any truth to this for you?
It's an interesting one. I think the transfer gurus and the ITKs that you get around this time of year, I think they've just seen that, there's speculation about Harry Wilson to Leeds and also speculation about RAPHINA to Liverpool, and just gone, oh, hang on, we've got a deal there. They could make a swap deal. That's where I think it's come from. I think Leeds would be stupid to cut price off the RAPHINA deal and take Harry Wilson. However, for me, I would absolutely love RAPHINA, and I'd be working on that this summer. I really would.
Apparently the Chelsea thing was fake. A couple of people in the chat were saying Fabrizio Romano. So we'll upgrade it to a full chew again. We've got one full chew there for Daka. Look, I agree with you with regards to his quality, and you're right. For every Haaland, there is other failures, but there's also Mane's, and there are other people that come through the system. And no news for me around Liverpool transfers is generally a good thing, because it's when you start seeing players linked with everybody left, right, and centre that worries me if we're one of those clubs. But with Daka, it's gone relatively quiet at the minute.
Yeah, it's interesting, but we've seen loads in the last few days, haven't we? And I feel like we constantly get links, but it's always from other countries, like this Tielemans link that's come from Belgium and stuff like that. And British journalists seem to be a bit out of touch with Liverpool these days after what happened with the Virgil van Dijk saga in Southampton. So it's interesting, but like you say, Craig, I really enjoy when transfers go under the radar. I think one of the most underrated transfers of the last few years was that Fabinho deal, where we've somehow
Kelleher's pulling off worldies here, by the way, as I'm watching in the background. 2 back-to-back top-notch shaves here from Creevy and Kelleher. You love to see it. Sorry for interrupting you, Jack.
No, but I just think it's one of them where I love transfers that go under the radar, and I think we'll see a couple of them this summer where Liverpool come out of nowhere for a particular player. But it is worrying, I have to say, Craig. It is really worrying to see Chelsea heavily linked with Haaland. City, I expect them to go heavy on Kane after the Euros. United most likely to get Sancho, in my opinion. Seeing deals like that is worrying, and does make you think that really hope that Liverpool start pulling their finger out their arse pretty soon.